Welcome to the second video for the first lecture. Bertrand Russell was one of the most important philosophers of the 20th century, and we'll be reading something by him in this course later in the term. Russell was born in 1872 and died at the age of 97 in 1970. Among many other things, he was known for his work in mathematical logic with someone called Alfred North Whitehead, who taught at Harvard in the 1920s and 1930s. Whitehead, by the way, died in Cambridge, very close to Harvard Square, in 1948. Russell was imprisoned for opposition to the First World War. He was a pacifist. He was fired in 1940 by the City College of New York for his immoral views about sexuality, and he won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1950. Here he is at the age of 86, being interviewed by the BBC in 1959.
One last question. Suppose, Lord Russell, this film were to be looked at by our descendants, like a Dead Sea Scroll in 1,000 years' time. What would you think it's worth telling that generation about the life you've lived and the lessons you've learned from it?
I should like to say two things. One intellectual and one moral. The intellectual thing I should want to say to them is this. When you are studying any matter or considering any philosophy, ask yourself only what are the facts and what is the truth that the facts bear out. Never let yourself be diverted either by what you would wish to believe or by what you think would have beneficent social effects if it were believed. But look only and solely at what are the facts. That is the intellectual thing that I should wish to say. The moral thing I should wish to say to them is very simple. I should say, love is wise, hatred is foolish. In this world, which is getting more and more closely interconnected, we have to learn to tolerate each other. We have to learn to put up with the fact that some people say things that we don't like. We can only live together in that way. And if we are to live together and not die together, we must learn a kind of charity and a kind of tolerance, which is absolutely vital to the continuation of human life on this planet.
Well, that was a pretty impressive unrehearsed answer for someone closing in on 90. Here are 2 points to take away from it. First, in this class, we're only interested in the facts. In that respect, philosophy is just like biology or math or economics. Sometimes the facts are not what we'd hope they would be, but that is no reason to disbelieve them. Philosophical argument can sometimes lead to conclusions that are unpleasant or shocking, and we have to be prepared for that. The second point is about disagreement and toleration. You'll realize soon that philosophy is full of disagreement. Sometimes that disagreement is about issues that stir up a lot of emotion. It can be all too easy to take offense, but this does not help us home in on the truth. Philosophy isn't possible as a discipline unless we learn to put up with the fact, as Russell says, that some people say things that we don't like. Assume then that the philosophers you'll be reading and your classmates are arguing in good faith. If you disagree with them, don't dismiss them as fools or reprehensible people. Engage with their arguments. If you do that openly, sometimes that will change your mind. Now, let me say something in the next video about the topics we'll be discussing.